You put Allen above Plano. Let's address that. Tommy.
Guys, this is a list for the top 10 places to live in the North Dallas suburbs. Let's see how the list started and how the list ended up. And don't forget to stay to the end so you can see the honorable mentions. Let's get to it. Skylar and I are going to go through the list 10 to 1 based on 2 bits of criteria: amenities and location.
Okay, so starting off with number 10, we have McKinney. Then number 9 and 8 are actually going to be neighborhoods, not cities. We'll get into why on that in just a minute. But number 9 is going to be the Tribute. Number 8 is going to be Castle Hills. In 7th place, we have Frisco. In 6th, we have Little Elm, which is where we are right now.
Yes, we're at Tin Man Social.
Number 5 is going to be Salina. 4 is Coppell, which is actually where I was from before Plano. And then 3 is Plano. That's a pretty good choice. Number 2 is Allen, and then number 1 is Prosper, which is also where Tommy lives.
No bias, right? So let's go ahead and start off with number 10.
Number 10, McKinney. Their whole slogan is unique by nature. Lots of trees. We got some hills. That's really exciting for us.
I don't see any hills in McKinney.
If you go far north enough, Hardin Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Dallas has hills.
A few.
So here's the thing about McKinney. McKinney got its popularity in the 2000s, and it got accolades for being the best place to raise a family in like the whole country. It's most known for its 2 giant neighborhoods, the Craig Ranch community and Stonebridge Ranch. Stonebridge Ranch has taken more than 20 years to develop, and they're pretty much building out the very, very last of Stonebridge Ranch.
They are.
Now. Yeah, it's got thousands of homes, and it has its own commercial districts within those boundaries. McKinney is about a 35-minute drive on average, depending on traffic, up from downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
I would say it's a 45-minute drive to DFW Airport. Or
less, depending on traffic again.
Or less, depending on traffic. Everything in DFW is depending on traffic. So
That's
you'll hear
everywhere.
It's true, right? So all we can do is kind of give you the averages. It really doesn't make sense to say how many miles it is. I mean,
no one in Texas talks by miles, unless you can run it.
Right.
But otherwise, we go by time.
I would say that many of the locals really enjoy not having to deal with a tollway in regards to living in McKinney. It's on I-75.
Okay, yes. The eastern, but a lot of McKinney, you're still going to be taking 121, which is going to be the south border of McKinney. And that is a toll road.
That is a toll road.
But 75 is not.
So,
and that is nice.
All that being said, getting around, you're going to use a combination of those two highways. And even if you live in North McKinney, you're going to use Highway 380, which is also not a tollway.
I was thinking about that.
And that's not even the bad side of 380. We can talk about 380 more. But the caveat would be Fort Worth. The Fort Worth Stockyards, the Fort Worth Zoo.
Fort Worth is its own beast.
Sundance Square.
Yeah.
I've said this in other videos. If you live somewhere in a Dallas suburb, you're likely just going to make a day trip out of your time going to Fort Worth. So plan on spending the day there. It's an hour plus each way, and there's enough stuff to do in Fort Worth. It's essentially like driving to another city. You're just going to spend the day there. There's not a lot of amenities in McKinney, but McKinney does give you access to everything around it. So it's it can be kind of seen as like a sleepy suburb because it's so much residential.
You know, though, so I feel like the amenities are also going to be more resident specific. So like Stonebridge Ranch, they have like their beach. They have a lot of amenities there. There are golf courses. That's going to be, I mean, Craig Ranch just had Byron Nelson there. I'm not into golf, but you're wearing golf shorts. You golf.
I'm wearing golf shorts and
but I would say that would probably be the biggest draw for McKinney would be golf. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly residential, super convenient. Anything you need is going to be there. Your typical day-to-day shopping and errands, restaurants, but otherwise nothing like super big or special or exciting. But a great overall place to live.
Absolutely.
So,
and number 10 on the list.
Yeah.
We'll find out if it needs to move up as we get through the list.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 9,
The Tribute.
we have the Tribute, which is an address of the colony.
It's technically on a map within the colony, but the Tribute is not the colony.
No, the colony is where I graduated high school, and the colony, the original part of the colony, is much older, and
Yeah.
they had
Captain.
some land available to them in their extraterritorial jurisdiction.
ETJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister.
Yes. And it's beautiful because the Tribute sits on one of the eastern peninsulas of Lake Louisville. It jots out into Lake Louisville. They've got shoreline. They've done really well to build a master planned community there. Pools, parks, playgrounds, fishing ponds, not to mention the actual lake.
Golf. It's a golf community.
Golf. You've got Old American Golf Course. It's not Old American Golf Course. I'm butchering that.
There are two.
It's the Tribute. One of them is the Tribute, is it not?
Yeah, it's something old something. It's modeled after like a Scottish.
We're gonna have to cut this and actually know it. Can you pull it up real quick?
Yeah. The
The
Tribute
Tribute?
Old American Golf Club.
Holy crap!
You were
Okay.
right.
All right, guys. We're back after confirming the two names of those golf courses. I was right. I
You
nailed
were
both of them.
Yeah.
Right. The Tribute Golf Course and Old American.
Yeah.
I've golfed and played Old American. You know what? That's neither here nor there. Let's talk more about the Tribute. The colony, we may have to talk about the colony and the honorable mentions. Again, stay to the end to hear more about that.
It's a good location.
It's a great location. And they've added a bunch of stuff. So the Tribute itself, it's just on here as a community. And, you know, if you want more information about the Tribute, Google it, reach out to us. We've got clients that have moved into the Tribute and they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
All that being said,
And their STEM Academy. We can't skip by the Tribute without mentioning that they have Prestwick STEM.
Yeah, which is Little Elm ISD. All right,
I
and
think you have to be in the Tribute to get into that.
You do.
Yeah.
I'll say that we will get a little bit more into Little Elm and Little Elm ISD as we move through the list.
Yes.
So that is the Tribute in at number 9.
All right, and then number 8 is our other non-city but neighborhood contender, and that is Castle Hills, which is basically like 3 cities combined into one neighborhood. The maps get really confused on what to call it.
So Castle Hills, again, it's hard to say whether or not it's a city or a neighborhood. It's master planned.
Like an honorary city.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
They've got their own water towers. You can see them waving through the sky. They're not waving through the sky, but you know what I mean. You can see them up high.
It's beautiful.
As you're driving down 121.
Yeah, they have some elevation.
A ton of amenities, a wonderful location. I almost wonder if it deserves to be higher up the list. So the thing about Castle Hills is this is another 20-year development, very much like Craig Ranch. Very much like Stonebridge Ranch, what we were talking about.
Lots of different phases.
And phases.
Neighborhoods within, like different phases that have different names, but still all under the umbrella of Castle Hills.
The charm about Castle Hills is the fact that it is an ode to old England. And so you've got your street names like Excalibur and Sir, this and Madam that. And
it's like living in a little fairy tale.
It is, very much so.
And nice custom homes in there too.
Yeah, there's a wide range of homes. I would say that they start anywhere from your 500s because there are condos.
Oh, absolutely.
There are apartment complexes, apartments.
Nice. Like everything is going to be at higher end.
Correct. None of which is older than the year 2000 either. I was in Carrollton when they... So here's the thing. Castle Hills starts in North Carrollton and it builds north into Louisville. It's always been Carrollton to me, but Louisville, much like the Colony and the Tribute, had some land that extended into Carrollton,
it's like
and
this
they
long
were
finger that reaches in. It doesn't feel like Louisville when you think of where Louisville is on a map, but
Right.
Louisville is technically that little
it is
strip of 121
it is
in between Carrollton and the Colony
Mhm.
in Plano. It's like 3.5 cities into this little neighborhood almost.
I agree. Now, so the location of Castle Hills, as I pointed out, is nice because you're probably 20 to 25 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes from downtown Dallas, 15 minutes from DFW Airport. It's really centrally located.
Right off 121. So you can just basically jump. If we put up a map for y'all, you can jump straight onto Dallas North Tollway or to George Bush or to 35. Any of these that will take you to Fort Worth, downtown Dallas, DFW Airport, anything. Any place your heart desires, you can go. Follow Yellow Brick Road.
Correct. And the amenities, it really has everything. You don't even have to leave Castle Hills too many times. I mean, of course, for nights and weekends, you may want to make the short drive up the road to the Grandscape District or the Legacy District in Plano. Geez,
anything.
It is right in the middle.
But you could just Uber. It's so close, unless you're just really looking for that hotel stay.
Skylar,
and like a $60 glass of wine, but you know.
8 might be kind of low for Castle Hills.
Yeah, I think we're talking ourselves moving. They're going to move up. They're going to move up.
Yeah. All right. Let's see who we got next.
Okay, so number 7 we have Frisco.
Dang, I don't know if Castle Hills moves past Frisco.
Well, they both might surpass some of these other ones, but
okay,
we'll see.
All right, so let's talk about Frisco. You guys have heard about Frisco, Texas. If you're moving here, Frisco is the big bad wolf as far as the North Dallas suburbs are concerned. It is a suburb that got its popularity in the latter part of the 2000s and was so big in the 2010s that it got its accolades for being the best place to live in America. And going back to 2007, Men's Health magazine recognized Frisco as the best place in America to raise a child athlete.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about amenities in Frisco, it's quite amazing. It's got everything from your professional and semi-pro sports teams, from your Frisco Rough Riders up to FC Dallas Soccer. It is the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Stars.
The Dallas Stars practice arena is in Frisco. PGA of America has relocated to Frisco, Texas, and they've got 2 golf courses in far north Frisco. Like, we could go on, and we can't. We can't continue.
So why did you put it number 7? I have opinions on it. I want to hear what yours are. I honestly think it needs to be higher. It's on the list, but I think Frisco will end up having to move up the list. Let us know what you think. We want to see all your adjustments to this list in the comment section. I have a couple big pros for it, and then a con, or at least what I've heard of people leaving Frisco for places like Prosper.
Okay.
That con is just with so much coming in. So basically, Frisco is massive geographically.
Yeah.
And it used to be, the rest of Dallas-Fort Worth laughed at it, called it Oklahoma, said no one's moving up here. And Frisco basically did the equivalent of hold my beer, watch my 10-year plan.
Right.
And they're still filling out that plan. And just their foresight is incredible. And that's why it is such a hub. It is such a place to visit. It is becoming almost like if you have Dallas, you have Fort Worth. It's now almost becoming Frisco and suburb of Frisco.
Can't forget Arlington. But Frisco is almost like, how crazy is that? Frisco's like another Arlington. It's
huge,
just
better plans.
You think it's better?
I do.
Okay.
I think the infrastructure in general of Frisco is better planned.
It's newer.
Which is why I think there's better planning. They predicted the growth versus other areas like Arlington that, had good ideas, but they didn't accommodate the growth that was coming. There's a gnat in my face.
No one can see it. It just looks like you're...
I'm just fighting my inner demons. So I think that's what's great about it. But because of that, your taxes are going to be higher. You're dealing with traffic. Some of it just as more people are coming for, concerts or for events, you're going to have more event traffic that way.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Frisco lies in 2 different counties. Half of it lies in Denton County and the other half lies in Collin County. So
it's that big.
If you are trying to figure out where you're trying to move in Frisco, reach out. And because your property taxes are going to be different depending on which neighborhood you live in. And that can make a difference for some people.
The other thing that and then we can move on, that I really appreciate about Frisco, especially as now a parent, is that their school district, so they keep popping out schools. Why do they keep doing that? Because they're keeping their student-teacher ratio down. Because their whole motto for their ISD is to know every student by name and need. And I think that coming from Plano ISD, which is a massive district, and I competed with a lot of other students, if you are not competition, what's the word I'm looking for? Competition fed, if you don't thrive in that kind of environment, it's going to be harder for you in those types of schools versus a school district like Frisco that's going to be more one-on-one and dedicated to meeting students where they're at, because they just have the smaller classes. They have the more ability to reach out versus a large class size.
All that being said, we've got Frisco in at, what was it, number 7?
Yeah.
Frisco at number 7.
You put Little Elm above Frisco. I think they're going to have to switch. I like Little Elm. Little Elm's been a sleeper. Little Elm's been playing a long game too.
A lot of people sleep on Little Elm because Frisco is right next door.
Somebody compete.
You actually don't realize just how awesome Little Elm is because it's next to a Frisco, right? But Little Elm sits on the eastern shores of Lake Louisville and provides a lifestyle that so many people are looking for when they relocate here to North Texas.
City on the lake, yeah, isn't that their motto? It's in a lot of their logos. They'll have like the sailboat, the town with the lake attitude. As their little banners around us. But I also thought it was like City on a Lake. That could have been actual Louisville.
No, I thought that was the Colony. No,
it might be the Colony. They all kind of touch it. But Little Elm has a lot of perimeter.
The town with a lake attitude.
That's that little banner right there in front of us.
Okay.
A little sailboat.
Sorry.
It really does have a lot of it that actually will give you lake access, not just driving over it, but to swim, to fish, to boat. And that's big. I mean, we don't have ocean. We have the Gulf. It's not the same.
No.
It's far. But we have lakes. That's
we
us.
In DFW don't have the ocean.
No, that's just Texas claiming all the Texas.
We revere our lakes because they give us what so many of you guys that are viewing this video have. Mm-hmm. You've got the ocean less than an hour from you. Yeah. We've got the lake. We've got Little Elm Beach, less than, it's 45 minutes from you and 20 minutes from me.
Yeah, from where we are right now, gosh, we're like a 5K, maybe.
Yeah, so the amenities here in Little Elm are wonderful. Okay, dining, you're probably going to drive into Frisco for a lot of your dining.
For higher end dining. There are a lot of options still around here. You got Hula Hut right there. We're at Tin Man.
Yeah.
So you have, and also some like hole in the wall kind of places too.
I agree.
If you want like more dress up dining, if you want your casual lake attitude dining, you have it here.
You'll probably go into Frisco for the weekends.
Yeah.
3, 4 times, 5 times a month, depending on how close you are to the Frisco border, maybe even more than that. But all that being said, I think lake living and just being so close to the beautiful water is such a big attribute for so many of you that are moving here from New York, Florida,
and affordably by the water.
California. Yeah, the price per square foot is going to be lower than Frisco as well. And I don't know that it has a higher ceiling because Frisco did just move in. I feel like it does have as high a ceiling as Frisco to a certain extent. It's hard to, Lord have mercy. Could it have been any louder? They're going to come over here and dump the trash too.
I keep feeling like I have invisible gnats on my face. It's getting close to summer in Texas.
I'll just, if you have one.
Slap me. That's what my 2-year-old does.
No, so I don't know. We'll have to get through the rest of the list and see if Little Elm, if I've overstepped our bounds a little bit, on Little Elm. I just think it might be the only one on this list that is on the lake. So let's get to it.
Which I think is its biggest thing. Like Hydras, the Wakeboard Park, and Little Elm Beach are some of its strongest.
The location of Little Elm, I would say that's kind of a detractor. Okay, it's not really on any highways. That actually kind of stinks. So for that reason,
deep.
Yeah, it's deep, like in away from the Dallas Tollway.
And on a map, it's almost like a 6-finger hand. Like all of Little Elm is not created equal. You have parts that could be almost an hour from each other, depending on.
No.
Well, I think if you take
parts of Little Elm,
yeah,
they can be apart from each
fingers.
other.
If you have like your part that's going to be closer to Frisco, and then you have parts that are going to be over closer to Aubrey,
30 minutes,
depending on 380.
Oh snap! Okay.
So we'll see. It has a lot going for it. I think it might be a little high on the list, but I do agree with it being on the list.
Okay. No, I agree.
My
yeah.
professional opinion.
I respect your professional opinion. Oh.
All right, Salina. We got a lot to talk about Salina. Salina, she's a growing girl. She's, Prosper's little sister. Country sister.
Little country sister, larger. She's going to end up being larger.
She's going to fill it in.
She's going to be built out in the year 2045, 2050.
Yeah,
she ain't even close.
She touches Pilot Point.
She touches Pilot Point. She's up there and
she is a big girl.
Out there.
I like that we've collectively agreed that Salina is.
Salina's a woman.
It's a girl.
Let's go! The location of Salina is directly north of downtown Dallas by about an hour.
Yeah.
50 minutes to get to a Dallas Mavs, a Dallas Mavericks game, Dallas Stars game, probably an hour plus to get to the State Fair of Texas. You're probably looking pretty close to an hour to get to DFW Airport. More than an hour to get to Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Stockyard, Sundance Square. A little high up the list, isn't it? And there's no amenities there yet.
It's coming. I think it's the foresight here of what Salina is becoming, because we're also comparing these two, big established hubs. Traditionally when you think of Dallas, Fort Worth. But if you're thinking of the drive to Frisco and to anything that's there, to Grand State, to anything that's there, it's not bad. Okay, so it may be a little early to be this high up on the list, basically, but
it's about 10 years too early to be this high up on the list.
We just want you guys to know where to go if you want to see your investment grow. Like, if you want a secret, here it is.
Yeah, it's got tons of upside. We have to correct other realtors that are saying it's going to be the next Frisco.
I don't think it's going to be the next Frisco.
Stop it. Stop saying that. Frisco is a place, again, that has nationwide accolades as being one of the best places to raise a family in the country, best place to raise an athlete. Frisco has recruited the Dallas Stars, the PGA, Fortune 500 companies. There's a T-Mobile headquarters.
I just don't think it's going to be Frisco.
It's not going to be Frisco, people. However, I think what people are trying to say is it's going to pop like Frisco, but even so, I don't know that that's fair to say. It's already offering housing that was far more expensive than Frisco was when it was starting to pop. I bought my first house in Frisco, brand new, for $178,000 in the year 2011. You can't do that in Salina, and so it's going to pop differently. It's going to be a little less affordable than Frisco was when it began to get its popularity.
Salina, because you think like Mustang Lakes, and you think of there like the popular parts of Salina right now. A lot of them are going to be the parts that dip into Prosper ISD.
Correct. Let's talk about those. Salina and Salina ISD are going to have wonderful communities, but the ones that are already developed and super popular, Mustang Lakes, Light Farms, you're going to have Sutton Fields, Mosaic. These are communities that are in South Prosper and South Salina, and they feed into Prosper ISD. Those locations are excellent, and these communities are
Oh gosh, what else? Liliana, Star Trail, or those Prosper?
Liliana is Star Trails Prosper, but I gotta say,
that line.
some of these communities are offering things like front and side lawn care with their HOA dues.
Their amenities are
silly.
Well, and a lot of them have lifestyle directors. So
Lifestyle directors.
you have, again, you're looking at like little towns within these communities. You have food truck nights, you have events, you have someone that's specifically planning a social life for you and your family just for living in this neighborhood.
Like resort living. You know how it is when
really
you guys
is.
go to Cancun and you go to a resort.
All inclusive.
All-inclusive resort, and they got stuff for you and your kids. That's essentially what Mustang Lakes is providing. Light Farms is doing the same. And yeah.
For me, a lot of it too is it's like, look at where some of your most reputable builders are going. So like where Highland is going.
Sure.
Where
Perry Homes.
Perry, you know, any of these, they're not going to put homes or put investments in places that they aren't going to recoup it.
Correct.
So when there's some of the first players jumping into new land, you say, "Oh, look, those are like my dog ears."
Oh, is that what that was?
Yep.
Right.
I regret that. Take that back. But you know, it piques your interest. You go, okay.
That just happened.
Okay. Salina, it's great. A little early to be number 5, but it deserved the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Coppell. I love the name Coppell.
It's not Coppell.
Just like Denton, it's Denton, not Denton.
Yes.
We'll teach y'all. If y'all aren't from here, we'll help you.
Yep. Coppell. Coppell is a centrally located suburb very close to DFW Airport. We're talking about a 10-minute drive, depending where in Coppell you're coming from. So to the east of Coppell, you've got I-35, which can take you into downtown Dallas. Along the western side of Coppell, you've got 121, which takes you to the Fort Worth side of things. It takes you, of course, into DFW Airport. You're very close to Arlington.
Coppell's a middle suburb.
It is.
Like it's one of our few little handful of gem suburbs right in kind of the middle of the Metroplex.
Correct. Now, I will say this. The average age of the home in Coppell is probably a home that was built in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of homes in the 70s, a lot of homes in the 80s, 90s, some in the 2000s, some in the 2010s. Very, very little new construction right now, but has been seen for years as being one of the top places to raise a family in DFW by niche.com and other publications. I don't know that I agree with it that much. I've spent a lot of time in Coppell growing up. Let's talk amenities. I just talked location, amenities. Coppell is kind of like McKinney in that it gives you access to other places.
Its amenity, is its prime location to anywhere in the Metroplex. Now you're looking at closer to almost like the world is your oyster within about 30 minutes.
Correct.
Versus 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
Coppell is very like pocket. Like if you know it, you know, like I feel like the community is very established. It's very consistent. You got some old money there. You're going to have, if you're moving into it, be prepared. Your homes are probably going to need work. They're going to be probably dated. But the price you pay is for your school district and for your prime DFW location.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could all say that
I think they're a little elitist.
I think the people there are down to earth. But one thing I love about Coppell is like the fact that they have coming from Plano.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
All right, anyways, we talking about elitists.
I guess we're getting into South Lake Colleyville.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
All right, guys. So one thing that I want to add about Coppell is it's so much like McKinney, actually. It's very much a residential area for the most part. There's almost nothing outside of your strip shops, grocery stores, and your restaurants that the locals love that is going to take you into Coppell. It's not a destination.
It's just like in this little pocket surrounded by all our major highways. So you have like Coppell, Irving, Las Colinas, kind of all
Dallas,
starting to touch
Carrollton.
Yeah, into this little Also kind of executive pocket, I think, because of its proximity to DFW, but also to Love Field.
Correct.
If you take that, DFW is obviously our bigger, more popular airport, but
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's Coppell. Who do we have? What number was Coppell coming?
It was number 4.
All right, so we're into our top 3. Guys, if we haven't introduced ourselves, I'm Tommy Wooten. This is Skylar McKinley, and we want to thank you for spending your time here on the Dallas Real Estate Channel. Hit that like button, and if you're looking for representation, click the link in the description, and it'll flip you to our website so you can register to work with us.
Yes.
Top 3.
All right, coming in at number 3, near and dear to my heart, is Plano. I lived in Plano for about 30 years. Love it. I have a lot of great things to say about it. It is getting older. There are some new parts, but mostly older.
Let's talk about that location.
Another amazing location.
It's a great location. A lot of people don't realize that Plano is so big that it occupies the land outside of I-75 to the east, through I-75 to the west, all the way to the Dallas North Tollway, and through the Dallas North Tollway. So you could actually have a Plano address and be using the Dallas North Tollway, the tollway, as we call it, or 75. It's so big that
you will probably use a lot of tolls, though.
2 completely different lifestyles. Yes, correct. Because on
you're bordered.
Well, on the south end of Plano, you've got George Bush Turnpike. And on the north end of Plano, you've got 121. So 3 of the 4 highways that encompass or aid the Plano residents are tollways.
Almost.
3 of the 4.
Yeah.
Now, Plano, again, like Skylar said, a lot of homes built in the 80s. But it's got homes that were built in the 60s and 70s as well. Downtown Plano. Yeah. I mean, you've got some really old homes in downtown Plano, but Plano is mostly known for its homes built in the 80s in central Plano
and 90s.
And 90s.
Up north, further north.
Correct. And West Plano estates. All right. So we're talking in communities like Willow Bend, Glen Eagles, and we're talking proper estates.
Even East Plano, East Plano gets its opinions, but East Plano has some like ranch estates out there. Nice.
You're right, kind of out by Parker.
Rios,
kind of out by Parker. So its location, we're talking, it's just north of Richardson to the southeast, and Dallas, and that's
Carrollton,
it. Right.
Frisco.
It's really right there, just north of Dallas. There's in certain parts of Plano. That's it. It's only separated by a road from Dallas. So that means it's easy access into downtown Dallas, State Fair of Texas. Pretty easy access to DFW Airport. 25, 30 minutes, depending on where in Plano you live. Because again, Plano's large. But a good location. Let's talk about those amenities, most of which were built within the past 10 to 20 years.
They're another one that's going to be, I feel like, great for athletics. Lots of trails, lots of soccer complexes. Let's get it straight. It's not going to be like Frisco, which is going to be an elevated athletic experience. But for your general rec sports for kids, for family, you're going to have a lot of opportunities there. You have Arbor Hills, you have Oak Point as far as like big trail systems or places to go outside that they've done well. You do have a lot of restaurant dining opportunities. Some of like the biggest, baddest things that Plano is known for is going to be its Legacy District, Legacy West, and Shops at Legacy, the OG.
Yeah, Shops at Legacy.
Granite Parkway area boardwalk. Oh, real fast. On Plano, the biggest thing that you need to know school-wise, besides our massive schools, are that we do high school, 9th and 10th, and senior high, which is 11th and 12th. So if you guys are looking online, or if you do have a search on an MLS, we gotta double check those schools for you. It's really easy on Plano ISD. Half the realtors get it wrong because they don't understand that it's gonna be high school and senior high. It's gonna be different that way. So your 3 main players are Plano West, Plano East, Plano Senior. Represent the best.
Granite Park, the boardwalk, all these things are wonderful. amenities. And again, the location of Plano gives you access to the amenities that are outside of Plano.
Yeah.
You know what? Number 3.
You put Allen above Plano. Let's address that. Tommy.
Okay. All right. So
Allen is our nemesis. Not really. They're a big school district. If you're looking into like in the high school district.
Allen is a smaller suburb than McKinney, smaller than its neighbor of Plano. And Allen is right on I-75. It knows no other highways. Allen residents don't have to. Kinda.
Like on the northernmost.
Okay, you're right.
But not as much. It's 75. It lives on 75. That's its playground.
Allen has done extremely well with its amenities as of late. Allen was not a place in the 1990s or 2000s. It has homes that are that old, and even going back to the 80s and 70s.
Allen ran its own race.
Yeah, because it's along the I-75 corridor, so people, settle on major highways and bodies of water. I'm not going to get into history, but that's how people settle. And so Allen was settled in a very long time ago, has those older homes. But if you are driving through Allen and you look along the highway, you're thinking, holy crap, this place is jumping. You've got the Allen Outlet Mall. You've got the
shops at Fairview.
Shops at Fairview, which is Allen.
Fairview is Allen. It's the same zip code. Fairview doesn't even get its own zip code.
So weird.
Yeah.
It's very confusing, even for us locals to explain it, which means it's going to be just as difficult for you guys to understand when you're driving around. And, if you reach out to us, we set you up on your DFW Discovery Tour. Yeah. That's a difficult thing for people to understand. Like, is this Allen? Is this Fairview? What am I?
Kind of both.
What am I enjoying here?
It's like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Holy crap.
Just dropping this stuff for you.
All that being said, it's just got I-75. It's a great location.
Waters Creek.
It's Waters Creek is amazing.
Allen is
which is kind of like
beautiful.
A smaller legacy district. Shops of Legacy.
It is.
It's live here, work here, play here. And
but just in general, some of their streets and neighborhoods, like their overpass, like just Montgomery Farms area off Bethany. That's
Twin Creeks.
Beautiful.
Golf courses.
Lots of golf courses.
Yeah. So Allen, you're up there.
Allen does need to be up there.
Does it need to be higher than Plano though?
Allen.
I allow you to be biased.
Allen has newer parts on a whole. I feel like community-wise, Allen offers probably some newer, stronger communities than Plano. Plano is just going to be older, which is okay. But with older, it comes maintenance, comes just anything.
Older streets,
pros and cons.
Older public restrooms, older
strip malls,
malls.
And money comes back in and things get changed, but you also have to, the same way that you have to play that game with areas that are growing, of waiting for infrastructure, you also play that with older areas of waiting for remodeling. And
Allen has some of that older stuff too.
Oh, absolutely. I just think in general, Allen is parts of it are quite a bit newer.
Guys, we are at number 1 on this list, and be sure to stay until after this video so we can talk about some suburbs that we haven't even talked about yet. They're honorable mentions. Yep. So we may have spoken about them in passing, but right now we have the best places to live in the North Dallas suburbs.
All right, at number 1, we have Prosper. Tommy did put Prosper as number 1. Tommy does live in Prosper. I've been a realtor for 10 years. I don't think it's just bias. I'll give it to you on that. I do think that Prosper does deserve number 1.
Hey. All right, here's to making good adulting decisions about where to live. All right, so Prosper, Texas. We have done videos about Prosper, and it has received accolades as some of the, one of the best places to raise a family. It is a suburb that is north of Frisco. It's only separated by, right now, is a 4-lane highway, and it's being expanded. Highway 380. You've heard the horror stories about 380. but
Also called University.
also called University. No one here calls it that.
No, just like we don't call Sam Rayburn Sam Rayburn. It's
Right.
121.
So the thing about Prosper is it is about a 45 to a 50-minute drive to downtown Dallas. The same distance to DFW Airport, more than an hour drive to Fort Worth. And the major thoroughfare is Highway 380 or the Dallas North Tollway.
Yeah, which is, Manifest Destiny North. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
I remember when it ended.
Yeah, the location of Prosper is nice, thanks in large part to Frisco.
It really is. Frisco laid the groundwork for Prosper to be successful.
I feel like in Prosper, we can grab our binoculars, get up on a hill, and look down into Frisco and see what are they doing down there. Okay, y'all want to go to and we could just go in and do anything we want. Be there and be home within like 10 to 15 minutes.
You get like the convenience and the benefit of Frisco
And McKinney.
of all of it, but with the privilege of being able to come back home and have it be a little bit more relaxed, a little quieter.
So much more relaxed.
All
that being said, Prosper right now is in the middle of building high school number 4. Prosper is widening roads and building schools and other buildings like nobody's business. There's more than 20 projects under construction right now in Prosper. And amenity-wise, I would say the amenities are so family-based that it's kind of shocking. Like when we look into the biggest developments that Prosper has put up, one of which is the Gates of Prosper. It's a shopping and dining district that is massive. It's really big.
Great. Go spend a day, go shopping, go stop, eat some lunch. If you're not pregnant, have a frozen margarita.
Have a frozen margarita at Gloria's. Margarita on the rocks for me. There's so much more coming to that area. New apartment complexes. There's a vibrance that Prosper has. The safety aspect, which everything on here, you're not going to be on this list if you're not a safe suburb. So like the two bits of criteria we're really talking about, again, location, amenities. Prosper itself has wonderful parks, playgrounds.
Absolutely.
It has a 27-acre lake in the middle of Prosper, which there's some on this list that can't offer that, but it's wonderful if you have a kayak and you're just trying to find a place where you can kayak. You could move to Prosper and get to your place of kayak, to the launch and home, like same day. Like you're not going far at all. 10 minutes away from your house, 5 minutes from your house.
Or you can just move to Windsong Ranch and kayak in their lagoon.
You could kayak in the Windsong Ranch Lagoon. It's got wonderful communities, which is what Skylar's kind of alluding to. You're going to burn here in a second. We're going to have to move Skylar out of the sun
it's just
again.
The first burn of the year. Hello, vitamin D.
I am on this side. I want nothing to do with that.
Oh, no, it's nice.
So,
it's just the kiss of the sun.
All right, so I'm looking here at the list. McKinney, the Tribute, Castle Hills. That's 10, 9, 8. Frisco at number 7. I feel like Frisco's a little low. I feel like Frisco can go past Little Elm, Salina,
and
Coppell. You think Frisco needs to move up? Does Castle Hills move up above Little Elm, Salina? And I think it kind of does, right?
It does. And it's also tricky, y'all, because...
And is Allen too high at number 2?
I feel like Allen, Plano, and Frisco, because growing up in the area, and I grew up in like Northwest Plano, those 3 kissed borders so much. You were always constantly playing in them. They almost feel like a tie. Frisco is going to offer more to do, but then Plano or Allen, you're just jumping right on over. It's not hard to do that. Okay, so our new arranged top 10. Number 10, keeping McKinney. Number 9, we are keeping the Tribute. Number 8, we now actually have Little Elm. Moved down a little. Number 7, we have Salina. And number 6, we have Castle Hills.
And at number 5, we have Coppell. Number 4, we have Plano. That one moved up. Frisco moved up to number 3. And at number 2 stays Allen, Texas.
I'm gonna move down.
And staying number 1, we've got Prosper, Texas.
That's what's important.
So, honorable mentions.
Yeah. So
There's a lot that we could not get to. Melissa.
yeah. So I'm gonna
Melissa doesn't even have their grocery store built yet, so they can't be there. Like,
I'm gonna group it to North 75 corridor because Melissa Anna Van Alstine play very nicely together, just like Allen, Frisco, Plano. Excuse me.
sure.
But coming as a 30-year Plano resident, I moved excuse me, to the Anna Van Alstine border, and that is going to be a longer game too. But if you look at where the growth is, you look at where you can get in cost wise for what's coming and where it's going. That's why my family and I made that decision. My family and I'm the realtor. My husband listens to me. And then for fun fact, we are one of the first major school districts within the Metroplex to move to a 4-day school week in Anna. So food for thought.
Another honorable mention. This one, we brought up your husband.
Flower Mound. Okay,
Holy
but there's
crap.
a reason. No. That's going to be more almost Fort Worth suburb than Dallas.
It's Denton County.
It goes more west. It needs its own, that whole area, that like in between area deserves its own video because.
We might have to do one just for that area.
Oh yeah, we absolutely
Flower
do.
Mound. We love you, Flower Mound. We love Flower Mound.
We do love Flower Mound.
And
Flower Mound, Justin.
I don't know about Justin. I know
Argyle.
about Justin. I love Argyle.
South Lake Hollyville.
Well, do I mean love? I mean, they're building communities there, but is it lovable? Right?
Yeah,
There's
it
not a
is.
lot there yet. Right? There's not a lot of there yet.
They're
We got
very
wonderful
desirable.
communities. Lantana, Harvest. We got big master plan communities there. They are
Trophy
not
Club
there yet.
is another great one.
Trophy Club is definitely on the other side of DFW Airport.
That's all,
Therefore, that's not a North Dallas suburb.
I think all of these are different into their
Carrollton.
own little category.
Carrollton, I have not forgotten about you. Born and raised, I love you. Your honorable mention.
Absolutely, Carrollton's honorable mention. Great location, some fantastic neighborhoods.
We should talk a little bit more we talked about the colony. Richardson.
Richardson starts losing its north appeal. I know it's like right by
Let's
Plano.
move you out of the sun. You're kind of splitting hairs if you are getting into choosing some of these. Just know that you will be happy. So,
Yeah,
guys, I hope this is beneficial to you. If you like this video, I've got another one for you to check out right here. We'll talk soon.